Chapter 2 Evil spirits are haunting Su. New Year frowns. You want this? Why I'm going to solve this. Su Qian voice. I want to know the incident. Dad also Dad understand. Otherwise I will not directly set to solve the case. Su New Year will probably think his head what. So Su Qi and changed the expression after all. The original Su Qi and is a stubborn character. Su New Year reflected for a moment. Said, I have read the file. You can say these days to run for the Su family. The case is too big. No one dare to help. Helpless. Su New Year to change the way of thinking, trying to recover the tax silver from this aspect, relying on the original connections and the academy relationship, as well as the silver dot. Su New Year bought the officials of Beijing Zaifu for him to copy the files, but he has no experience in criminal judgment, investigation and so on. Helpless to give up, Su Qi and raised his hand to interrupt. You write down. Dictating is meaningless. All the details of the case are in the word. Need to consider. True. Devote part of the energy to listen to. The brain cannot come thinking and analysis. Su Qi and logical reasoning ability in the previous life has been a right out of the dust. Is the leader in the same grade in the past. Su would not talk to him in the new year. Thinking of the brothers parting, perhaps forever, he granted his brother's last request and whispered. Just a moment. Gallop away. Footsteps disappeared in the corridor. Su 7 and back against the fence to sit down. The heart uneasy complex. He did not grasp the overturn. Want to solve the case is desire. Unwilling is also true. There's only one way I can think of to save myself. I have to try it in modern criminal investigation means. Crime scene investigation, monitoring and autopsy are three essential components. No one died in the missing tax silver case, and there is no supervision of Ancient, and he is in prison. The above three elements are not eligible to contact. The good news is that the file restores the crime scene to some extent, while digesting the memory of the original owner, while forcing oneself to abandon all negative emotions. Only a calm brain can have a clear mind, complete rigorous reasoning. What happens next? Is he murmured as the time of incense sticks passed. Su hurried back and gave him several pieces of rice paper with the ink still wet. It's time. I must go. Su hesitated for a moment in the new year and said, Take care of yourself, Su Qi, and did not answer. Eyes have been attracted by the handwriting on rice paper. Time is short, and the handwriting on the paper is cursive. If Su Qi and had not studied old-style school for several years, he could not recognize these ghost characters. Reading is still useful. The original is mainly illiterate Finnish scattering flowers. Su 7 in self-deprecating way. The story of the missing tax silver is as follows. Then came the deafening sound of an explosion. The river exploded 6 feet high. The turbidness of the sky. The soldier in charge of transporting the silver jumped into the river to look for it. Only 1,250 taels of silver were recovered. The rest was low. St. In addition to the incident, and the Beijing Zhao Futrao passers-by confession, participation in escort soldiers in a series of confessions, Su Qi and noted a sentence, sketched in red vermilion pen, evil spirits, evil things. Su 7 and pupil shrink. Heart sank to the bottom of the valley. Beijing Zaifu, back hall after 3 consecutive days of busy. 3 tax silver, missing case of the main person in charge, gathered together. Beijing Zaifu Yin Chen Hanwang, holding white porcelain blue and white tea covered gently against the rim of the cup. Face solemn the Zhensipin official, dressed in a crimson robe and embroidered with cloud geese. Sighed, there are still 2 days left. The holy god ordered us to recover the tax silver before Su Pingzi's beheading. The 2 men in Chen's mouth are middle-aged men in black uniforms and dark capes, with a straight nose, slightly sunken eyes and light brown pupils. He's half-South man. Another young girl in a yellow dress, with an oval face and picturesque features, and a skin as creamy as grease, looked on with radiant eyes. She held a cane in her hand, wore a deerskin bag and a feng shui plate around her waist, and under her skirt was a pair of tiny moor boots. swing and swing these two, is to assist the case. Middle-aged man, called Li Yachen. Born by the Big Bang officials, afraid of the organization, more people, this organization is engaged in reconnaissance, arrest, interrogation and other activities, also involved in the collection of military intelligence. Turn the enemy general and other work, it is not part of the 6 ministries, or the military system, it was the Royal Intelligence Service. The guillotine hanging over the crown. All the officials in Dafeng have heard a saying, if you do not have a guilty conscience during the day, you will not be afraid to beat others at night, and the girl in yellow dress is a man of Sixin supervision, not low status. The disciple of Sixin supervision, the middle-aged man, with a silver gong embroidered on his chest, glanced at the bagasse spit by the girls in yellow skirts, beside his eyes and feet. He frowned and out his palms and rode the air, gathering the bagasse in one place. The middle-aged man nodded slightly, showing a flash of pleasure. Then, with a heavy face, she replied, the case is very strange and shrouded in fog. Maybe we are going in the wrong direction. Where did Lord Li begin? Chen Faiyin frowns. Analysis of the case until now. The basic log is evil. Rob the tax silver. We don't have much time. What we have to do now is to catch the riot as soon as possible, and not to think about this mess, said Chen Faiyin. In recent years, the state treasury has been empty, and there have been frequent famine in various parts of the country. 150,000 taels of tax silver is equivalent to 1 year's tax revenue of an ordinary county. Your Majesty's anger is understandable. I don't have any money. You give me a chain. Angry Chen Faiyin conscientiously took over the case. He had not been able to eat and sleep well recently due to the burden on his shoulders. The middle-aged man shook his head and, instead of arguing, said, what new harvest did Su Pingzi have there? Chen Faiyin shook his head. A martial arts man. He will only keep grumbling about the injustice. He does not even know how the tax silver is lost. Yellow dress girl light way. I have seen his gas. Did not lie Li Yachen, and Chen Faiyin nodded, and did not continue talking about the man as a criminal. Su Pingzi bear the brunt of the investigation, torture, interpersonal communication and financial conditions, etc., were touched again. Then cooperate with the Department of Tianjin Key. Now have ruled out suspicion, of course. Tax silver lost. Su Pingzi dereliction of duty. Escape death. The middle-aged man and Chen Faiyin looked serious, and their hearts were heavy. Only the most light-pressure yellow-skirt girl, heartless nibbling sugar cane at that moment. Footsteps heard. A yeoman hurried in, holding a small bamboo tube in his right hand, and a paper bag of butter in his left hand, containing a steaming bag of meat. The yeoman handed over the bamboo canister. First, the girl in yellow dress did not pick up, such as the bright eyes of Xingzi. Aiming at the eyes of the big meat bag, the yeoman changed the order of his interest. The girl in yellow dress happily nibbled the big meat bag. Then she took the bamboo tube and drew out a piece of pap, which she read. My men say they haven't seen any evil spirits in Hanoi for 20 miles along the way, and there's no trace on the shore. Snap. Depressed atmosphere finally exploded. Chen Fuyin angry, beat the table, angry face livid. 150,000 taels of silver. Where to go? It's got to land. It's got to land. It's been 3 days and there's no sign of him. Abominable. Who dares to seize my big tax silver? This official will destroy its form and spirit. If he could not get the money back, he would have to take the blame. The emperor would not care whether he had wronged him or not. Officialdom is like this. Hard to climb up, but easy to fall down. Middle-aged Li Yachen spit out a breath. Again on the topic, is it possible that the direction of our investigation is wrong? May not be a monster. Chen Fuyin looked at him, took a deep breath, and suppressed his anger. It is not a demonic creature. How can that demonic wind come from? How can silver disappear into thin air when it enters the river? How can a wave of water several feet high burst and split the banks?